right, everybody, we are back again. This is the Wide World of Raff on 93.7 The Ticket. It's Wednesday night. It's 6 o'clock, and we're back. So tonight, we've done NFL football for like the last 3 weeks. We did receivers, we did quarterbacks, we did running backs. But tonight, it's time. It is finally time. Nebraska football, it's back starting Monday. Well, we got media day today and tomorrow, and then we got photo day on Sunday, but we have got practice starting on Monday. So I think it's about that time we kind of look over the Nebraska roster. Don't really have a complete depth chart out yet. Probably won't come out until like the week before the game if they even release a depth chart, but we'll kind of look at kind of the way they position themselves in the spring, and we'll just kind of talk about each player and some of the players, and we'll just get you familiarized with some of the players on the squad for this year's Nebraska football team. So we will start out first, and we'll look at the offense, and we'll just kind of make our way down, and then we'll go over to the defense, and then we'll look at some of the other players, special teams wise, and that. So first off, we will go to the offense first. The offense will be led by the offense coordinator, Marcus Satterfield. He comes over from South Carolina last year. He coached Spencer Rattler there. They were very productive there at the end of the season. They rang up some really big scores. Hopefully, we can just continue, to carry that over into this year. I know we got a new offense, and the thing with offense is it's going to take a little bit probably for it to come together. Usually the defenses are ahead of the offenses to start the season, but hopefully they can come out. The key thing with Nebraska is it's that one thing that kind of shoots us in the foot for the past, several years has been those penalties. Come out and play crisp football. Might not, rake up the yards, maybe not even rake up the points to begin with, but let's be crisp. If it counts on 2, let's go on 2, counts on 1, so be it. We eliminate those, and that's gonna help us on field position. It's just gonna help a whole lot of things. So at receiver, the first player is Marcus Washington. You probably, if you listen to the drive Monday through Friday, 8 to 10, you've heard me talk. Marcus Washington is my player this year that I think is the one that has not been talked about enough. I think he's going to make a huge stride in year 2 for Nebraska. I think he's going to be that one of those. Will they have a go-to receiver? I don't think so. I think it'll be a combination of players, but I really think that Marcus Washington is one of those guys that can really step up. It's his senior year, so I know that he's going to want to make some waves to have that opportunity to go up to the next level. He's a very talented wide receiver. I just think that he's one of those guys that Nebraska is really going to look to key third downs. But I think that he's going to be one of those guys that's really going to step up this year for Nebraska on the receiving side of the ball. Another receiver to take a look at, Xavier Betts. Xavier, like we all know, last year he missed last year. Left the team last year. However, he has went through any of the trials and tribulations that he's had to go through. You might have heard that he took 21 hours of classes just to get eligible for this upcoming season, which that's wild. I look back at my college years. I thought 15 years was probably way too much. I'd like to keep it right around that 12-hour mark for me. But he did 21 hours and showed the commitment to Coach Rule, Coach Satterfield, and the rest of his team, to get him back on the squad. And that says a lot about the young man that, he went through, what he went through, and, to make his comeback. And I wish nothing but the best for him, because I'll tell you what, if Xavier Betts can tap in back into that talent that he had, that he displayed 2 years ago, explosive player. It's going to give Satterfield play calling abilities. You have the chance to run some reverses with him. You have, some screen passes that you can run with him. He's got that playmaking ability where he can make stuff happen all on his own, and he's just an explosive player. And I'm hoping that he finds that, when you sit out a year, sometimes you got to get back into the groove of things. But I'm thinking that that he's one of those players that I think that he's going to bounce back, and I'm looking forward to to see this young man back in action for Nebraska, because honestly, I did not think that it would happen again. I figured he'd probably transfer, and it would just be one of those players that we talk about and be like, man, what if Xavier Betts would have stayed at Nebraska? But we get another chance to see Xavier in action, and I'm very excited for him. So good luck to you, and wishing you all the best this year, Xavier. All right, at the other receiver, we got the senior. We got the transfer from Virginia. We got Billy Kemp. Billy Kemp, from what I've seen of him, I just think he's just going to be right up there with Marcus Washington. I think that's going to be another one of your go-to guys. I think him and Jeff Sims, if they can get that chemistry, I've got to believe, they've been working out a lot this summer. And Billy Kemp can be that safety blanket for Jeff Sims when he's back there, he's going to know where Billy Kemp's going to be at. He's going to have the routes down pat, the plays down pat. He's going to provide leadership. And we might not see it this year, but the leadership that he provides to the young receivers in the room, you got the Jalen Lloyds, the Dosses, the Malachi Comans. I just think the leadership and the way he can show these young receivers how to play the college game is just going to be super instrumental in their development. Same with Marcus Washington. He's been there. He's done that. He's been at Texas. He's been at Nebraska. So I'm excited for Billy Kemp. I think he's going to have a big year for Nebraska. It's great to have him here. So keep your eye on Billy Kemp. All right, now we're going to move to the offensive line. At left tackle, we've got Teddy Prochaska. Teddy, what can you say? I mean, he was setting the world ablaze, and then he got injured. Tried to play last year. Things just did not work out quite for him well. You've got to think that the coaching staff last year made a wise decision, just to sit him down. What I'm hoping is all that extra rest and time that he's had to mend, that if he can come back and be the Teddy Prochaska that we saw 2 years ago, Nebraska, it's huge. You have a left tackle. You got a guy that's, protecting the backside of the quarterback. I think it's just going to be good. It's just going to be good to have him there. Just hoping he can, stay healthy. Sky's the limit for him. I've talked to, some former Nebraska football players, maybe the greatest player of his time, Dave Remington, and he just thinks the world of Teddy Prochaska if he gets healthy. So keep your eyes on Teddy Prochaska. Look for him to make some great strides this year. Just stay healthy, Teddy, and we should be good to go. And now we'll move over to left guard. We've got Nuri Norelli. Nuri, we know his story too. Last year he had to sit out the year, tested positive for performance enhancing. Something was in his bloodstream there. He admitted it. Just another class individual. He never fought the suspension. He acknowledged that he had made a mistake, an honest mistake, something that, everyone does. And the way he handled it and just the professionalism and just everything that he did and what he could have done, he has done. And I am just excited to see, what Nuri has in store for us this year, because yes, he sat out last year and he's ready to play some football. He's ready to hit somebody. He's ready to play some football. So it was horrible what happened with him last year, but I got to believe that pent up, desire to play is just going to come out this year for him. And I look for a big year for Nuri, and he's one of those guys too, that he has a big year this year. He's going to get some looks by some NFL teams. And, that's huge. And that's like a chip on your shoulder. You want a chance to go to the next level, and he's going to have a chance to earn it this year on this Nebraska squad. So keep your eye on Nuri. He's gonna have a big year. I feel it. And then we got center. We got Ben Scott, the transfer from Arizona State. Just another, guy that he's got all the tools. He's got experience, and he's going to provide great leadership. We spoke a lot about Billy Kemp and Marcus Washington with these younger receivers. Ben Scott's going to be that guy. We might not feel the effects this year of what Ben Scott provides, but over the next couple of years, you're going to see Ben Scott's leadership take a hold of this offensive line, and he's going to demand it. That's what a center needs to be. A center's got to be almost like the quarterback of the offensive line, calling out blitz protections and just being a leader. And I think that's what Ben Scott's going to be. And I think when it's all said and done, maybe he will be mentioned, in the top echelon of Nebraska centers. I'm not saying, top three, not Rayola and not Remington, Taylor, but he's going to be one of those guys, the Cam Jurgenses of his time, where very successful career. Mark Tranowitz, just very successful, and he's going to have a chance at the next level too. So keep your eye on Ben Scott. All right, now we're going to go to right guard. We got Turner Corcoran. Turner got him down at guard there. He can find a home, can settle in. I've made no, qualms about it. I think that the Nebraska running game is what is going to be the key to the Nebraska passing game this year. You hear it all the time. Set up the run, pass gets easier. And I think in the way Nebraska's set up, run the ball, power football, get those, second and fives, even second and six, get 4 yards on first down, get 5 yards on first down, mix in a pass here and there. And I think that Turner Corcoran is one of those keys, getting off the line and, pancakes. Let's get back Nebraska football, pancakes. We haven't talked about that in a long time, but pancakes, we got to go out and get some pancakes this year. Eat that pancakes, food. Put some syrup on it, but definitely Turner Corcoran. And then we're going to go out to right tackle. Right tackle, we got Bryce Benhart. Hey, what can you say? Bryce had a tough year last year, and he definitely was pointed out by a lot of people. But here's the deal that I think with Bryce is the guy has stuck with it. He could have maybe have took the easy way out, and hit the transfer portal, but he stuck to it. I look forward to Bryce Benhart to have just a heck of a bounce back year. And another thing that we've mentioned, on the drive is they've got those knee braces off now. And I think that is going to add not only just the movement of the Nebraska offensive line, I think it's going to add to the flexibility. They're going to be able to get lower. I think I think they'll be more, just more fluid. I just felt like, at the time, I never really thought much about it when they had those big knee braces on, but it restricts you. I mean, I know that technology is great and it's got so much better as the years have went by, but it's going to be huge to not have those knee braces on. And I just think Nebraska's offensive line is going to look more explosive, more fluid. And I want Bryce Benhart, to make a bounce back. So now we're going to move over to tight end. We got some tight ends there. We got Nate Burketcher, good solid tight end, consistent. And you got the guy that all of Nebraska is just looking forward, just to stay healthy. You got Thomas Fidone. I mean, I just want the guy to stay healthy. He has grinded and he has worked and he's ready. I just think he just needs to get that first catch and just get that playing time and just realize like, hey, I'm good to go. The freak injuries that happened the last couple of years, it's just something that happened. It's not what defines him. And I look for Thomas Fidone to be, a breakout player on offense because the tight end is always open in college football. I've watched a ton of college football, and it seems like every game the tight end is always open. You watched Georgia last year, the tight end's always, heck, watch Nebraska. The tight end is open. It's just a matter, to have a quarterback to get you the ball, and it's just to be consistent, not be injured. At this moment, Eric Gilbert, I'm not sure if he's going to be eligible this year or not. I don't think they've made any official announcement, whether he's going to be good to go this year. I'm hoping that, they'll get something. where he can play. But if not, that's a guy that we'll have for next year. But if we could somehow get Burkhead, Fedoni, and Gilbert, 3 tight end set, I'm not afraid. Let's go with it. You got the horses, you got to use them. So use every bullet in the chamber, as they would say. So Burkhead, Fedoni, and we'll see what happens with Gilbert. And then all of Nebraska, rejoice, throw your hands in the air. You've got Janarian Bonner, fullback, half H-back, kind of a tight end. I think Janarian Bonner, he's one of those guys, we can use him in many different ways. I think he's the prototypical lead blocker? Not sure about that. I mean, he puts his nose in there and he's aggressive, which I like to see, but there's so many different things that we're going to be able to use Janarian for. I could see, some screen passes, leading on the sweeps. It's been a while since Nebraska's had a lead back for their I back. You've got Clover, you got Ruth, you got some guys that that are some hitters we would be able to substitute in for Janarian Bonner. But let's get that lead fullback. Let's if they're in there, let's do some pounding. Let's get back Nebraska physical football. Hit some guys in the mouth. It felt like for a while Nebraska have forgot what made Nebraska, and that was initiating contact. Not always letting the contact come to you. So I'm excited to see what they do with Janarian Bonner. I think Coach Satterfield's got some stuff up his sleeve to use him and put him in the best position possible. So that's Janarian Bonner. Okay, now we're going to move to quarterback. The transfer from Georgia Tech, all in Nebraska once again wants to see the quarterback play. Jeff Sims. What can you say about Jeff Sims from a talent standpoint? He's big. He's mobile. He can throw the ball. He's got all the tools. Now he's got to take those tools and he's got to apply it to the mental side of the game and not get ahead of himself. He's got to know that, yes, he's the man. He's the man of the offense, but he doesn't have to put it all on his shoulders. We've got other weapons. We've got a great, set of running backs, or, we got 3, 4, we got running backs there. You don't have to put all the pressure on yourself. I think he's going to realize that, hey, you get 5, 6 yards on first down, your playbook opens up. You got play action that you can run. You've always got the tight end open in the seams. You've got stuff that you can do. And I think that Coach Satterfield is really gonna put Jeff Sims in situations where he can succeed. What I don't want to see is I don't want to be in those situations where he's got to throw the ball every single time. And the way you do that is you got to have a running game. 3rd and 12s, 3rd and 14s, 3rd and 15s, where and eliminate penalties, false starts. You don't start out, 1st and 15. So keep the pressure off them. But I think that the more comfortable that he gets, the more Nebraska is going to love Jeff Sims. And I really think that it's just a matter of, putting him in situations to succeed, which I know that Coach Satterfield, that's what they're going to try doing down there. And there's going to be those plays where he's going to bust out. He's going to put together a 20-yard run that, where he's going to improvise. Don't put your improvisational skills away, but just know when and when not to use them, and not force things. Like there's always another play. I mean, sometimes you got to punt. That's just part of football, but don't put your team in, bad situations by trying to make something happen every single play. So that is Jeff Sims. And now we go to the I-backs. We've got the running back, Gabe Ervin. Right now, by things from the spring and from the coaches talking, I really think that Gabe Ervin will probably be the number 1 back to start the season. He's worked hard. You've seen the pictures of him in the weight room. He's put in the work in the weight room. I always talk about ACL injuries. I always feel like with most backs, unless you're Adrian Peterson, you've heard me say that before, but most backs, most wide receivers after an ACL injury, it takes about a year, just to get back. I know you're cleared to play, but you always have that when you spent, 7-8 months and, going and recovering and going to rehab, and all you're thinking about is your knee, most likely when you get back on the field, what is the thing you're going to be thinking about? Your knee. So he's had a year to get back, to get used to that knee, where I'm hoping he's to a point now where he don't even know, or he don't even think about it ever even happened to him. And if that's true, look for Gabe Ervin to have a big year, because he runs, especially before he got injured against, I think it was the Oklahoma game where he got injured, but you saw him start to get that, where he's like, hey, I can get 5 or 6 yards of carry. It's just a matter just putting my nose down and, running hard. So look for Gabe Ervin. Anthony Grant. Anthony Grant's another one that we have 2 running backs right there. I felt Anthony Grant last year, beginning of the year, just running with reckless abandon, making moves, making cuts, doing what he had to do. And I just felt like last year maybe he got to a point where maybe he winded down a little bit, just maybe got tired, but there wasn't a ton of blocking for him last year. So after a while, that gets kind of tiring, going back and forth. But I'm thinking he's going to be back and, and have that bounce back in his step. And you have that tandem of Gabe Ervin and Anthony Grant. That's huge for Nebraska. I would even like to see Satterfield maybe even put the 2 backs in the backfield together. Just make the defense think. It'd be cool to see. But we'll keep an eye on that. We'll see what happens there. But I'm just putting that idea in your ear because I know that Coach Satterfield is listening to this tonight. No doubt in my mind. So, all right. And then we got Ramir Johnson. Ramir, basically, I feel like he took an off year last year. Played special teams. Got in towards the end of the year. I know he looked electric. I just think that he's one of those guys. I think he's got a huge chip on his shoulder. Here 2 years ago, you're the leading rusher on the team, and then you come out and you basically are told, "Oh, we're going to move you to receiver to give you more opportunities." And then you go to receiver, and then you're told, "Oh, well, you don't know the offense well enough, so we can't play at receiver." And it's just it wasn't right to the young man. But I think that this year he's set to have a huge bounce back year. And I think that Coach Satterfield is going to put him in situations just in ways where he's going to really be able to succeed as a running back, as a back out of the backfield. We know he can catch the ball because we wanted to put him at receiver. So he's got tons of abilities. And I look for Ramir Johnson to be, maybe even a third down back guy. So it'll be fun to watch him and the way he bounces back. And then we're going to go to the punter. We got returning punter Brian Buschini. Great year last year. Just keep it up. He has opportunity, to be an All Big Ten punter. I believe he was on the All Big Ten preseason lists. So I look for Brian Buschini to have a big year. Place kicker. We might have a battle at place kicker. You got Timmy Bleekrode. Kicked good last year for Nebraska, but you've got the incoming freshman, Tristan Alvano. The guy's a freak. If he keeps up, the momentum of what he did in high school, he's used to Memorial Stadium, as we know, making the bomb kicks that he had in the state championship game. But I feel good there. Place kicker for the first time, where we're going into the season and we know that they both can produce and be fun to watch. A kickoff man, they'll probably go with Alvano. Just he's got a boomer leg. So Alvano doing kickoffs. The transfer Marco Ortiz at long snapper. We got a veteran in there. That's always good to have at long snapper. You got Buschini holding. Punt returner, probably Billy Kemp, sure-handed from Virginia. He's been there, done that. So I look for Billy Kemp to be the punt return man. And then a kickoff return, Tommy Hill. I mean, there are a lot of eyes were on him last year, but I'll tell you what, Tommy Hill, when he gets that confidence and he realizes that, hey, I'm here and I'm one of the best athletes on the field, we're going to see some long returns out of Tommy Hill. So keep your eyes on Tommy Hill. So, all right, now that concludes the offensive side of the ball and special teams. We'll throw it to break. We'll cover the defense, and then at the end, we'll see what we have left. So we'll send it to break. This is the Wide World of Raff on 93.7 The Ticket.
Hey there.
Hi, honey.
Uh-oh.
Remember we told Jamie and Mike about Liberty First Credit Union, how great their checking account and car loans are, the amazing service we get, and how we love being members?
Yeah?
Well, they took our advice. Jamie said how easy it was to move all their accounts and become members. Now they say they're banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union.
Learn more about being a member at libertyfirstcu.com. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Member NCUA.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism. Problem gambling affects more than the gambler. It affects spouses, children, extended family members, and friends. If you are a loved one who's struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 476-2300.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket every Tuesday night from 8 to 9 p.m. to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sure.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone again, and with me on the line, Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I know how proud you and everyone at the dealership are to earn the prestigious Honda President's Award year after year, 17 times. Tell our listeners what it means to you and your customers.
Thanks, Charlie. Yes, all of us are extremely proud to have earned this award, and I want all of our customers to know it's not just earned by one person's efforts. It's the entire dealership. Sales, parts, and our amazing service department.
17 times. Wow. How does that compare to other Honda dealers?
This award is only given to the most elite dealerships that demonstrate excellence. We really do strive to go above and beyond for the ultimate customer experience before and after the sale, Charlie.
That's why for 2022, Honda of Lincoln is once again Nebraska's #1 volume Honda dealer. Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Our sales, precision ag, parts, and service teams are ready to serve you this planning season. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com. You know that feeling after a good, hearty meal? The worries of the world just slip away. Time slows down. Nothing but good times and good company. That's what you get with Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Mary Ellen's does food right, with a menu that includes smoked wings, pulled pork, brisket, catfish. And don't sleep on their sides, shrimp and grits, collard greens, baked beans. It's food that makes your heart happy. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul, just east of 27th and Pineland. Let them fix you a plate.
Hey there.
Hi, honey.
Uh-oh.
Remember we told Jamie and Mike about Liberty First Credit Union, how great their checking account and car loans are, the amazing service we get, and how we love being members?
Yeah.
Well, they took our advice. Jamie said how easy it was to move all their accounts and become members. Now they say they're banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union.
Learn more about being a member at libertyfirstcu.com. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose.
All right, everybody, we are back. This is the Wide World of Raff on 93.7 The Ticket. It is Wednesday night, and we are covering Nebraska football. We've covered the NFL the last 3 weeks. We probably had everybody bored, NFL. But, man, I love me some NFL. I love me some college football. I just love football. To me, it's the best sport ever. But, there's differing opinions out there. But Nebraska football, it's what it is. You have Nebraska football, Nebraska volleyball, bowling, gymnastics, basketball. You have some great teams out there, but Nebraska football season, and we got to talk it tonight because we got, what do we got? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday practice time, and then it gets real. You got to think it will be 3 weeks probably until the first game on Monday, so 2 weeks probably preseason camp, and then probably that third week they start instilling stuff for that first game against Minnesota on that Thursday night up in Gopherland. So it's gonna go fast, and I think the staff probably has a pretty good idea of who their starters are going to be and how it's all going to shake up. But you want that look, one final look in pads, because they're very new. They've only had spring practices. So there might be a guy, there might be an incoming freshman that might stick out. It happens. And I'm fine with that. Nebraska's a young team. From that standpoint, we got some transfers in. So it'll be fun. And so those freshmen didn't get to participate in spring ball either. So, I go back to like the Malachi Colemans and the Jalen Lloyds and those guys that have not participated. You've also got the other freshmen on defense, and it'll be fun. So, all right, we'll go to defense now. So at defensive end, we got Prince Will Uman-Millen. God, I don't say it as good as Nick does. I gotta work on that. But we'll just call him the Prince, maybe the Fresh Prince. But the Fresh Prince of Nebraska right there. So we got him at defensive end. He's a freshman. Great history between him and Coach Rule. They've known each other forever. I think Prince Will going to bring a lot of heat off the edge. I'm excited to watch him play. It looked like in the spring game that, he was one of those guys that was putting some pressure on the quarterback. So let's go with Prince Will at the end. At nose tackle, we got the big guy, Ty Robinson. Ty Robinson, I'm ready for him to have a big year. He came in, much ballyhooed, top recruit. I think he's one when he's on his way. I think Ty Robinson's one of those guys that we're going to look back at the end of the year and say, man, that guy had a big year for Nebraska, big run stopper. I think he'll be able to put some pressure on the quarterback up the middle too, and I think that'll be huge for Nebraska, pressuring those quarterbacks up the middle. So Ty Robinson, it's time. It's your time, Ty, and I think you're going to have a big year. So good luck to you. At defensive tackle, we got freshman Cameron Linhart. Sorry. So Cameron Linhart, freshman. Another guy that he's young, not sure what to expect out of him. If Nebraska, thinks he can play, let's get him in there. Let's see what he's got. I don't think that Nebraska is going to be one of those teams that's going to just sit with 3 defensive linemen the entire game. There's going to be a rotation there, and you've got guys behind these 3. You got AJ Rollins, who was kind of the surprise of spring ball with the way he can pressure the quarterback. I think he's one of those guys that he's a high motor player, and I think he'll be huge for Nebraska. And then you also got the polar bear, Nash Hutmacher, another guy. taking up blockers, big guy, strong guy, take up blockers, get upfield a little bit. It doesn't have to be a ton, but just enough, to make that pocket collapse. And you got the transfer Elijah Judy. He's another guy. I think he's going to bring a lot of pressure. I think he's another one of those guys that we're going to look back on and then you're going to say Elijah had a big year for Nebraska. And then you've got Blaze Gunnarsson. Blaze, it's he came in, a pretty high recruit too. I think Blaze is one of those guys that can have a breakout year. Ruquan Buckley, Brody Tagaloya. These are all guys. I'm not sure, what Pot Roast will do, with the rotation wise, if he will go, 9 deep rotation or if he'll sit at like a 6 or 7 guy rotation. But I think it'll be a battle every week to see what that rotation will be. And I don't think if we get to a point where he has to have, an 8 or 9 guy rotation, that's not a bad thing to have. You get you keep fresh linemen on the field. That's huge. Come to the fourth quarter and you got your defensive lines fresh, because you got to remember those offensive linemen, they're out there every single play. So we just keep on throwing people at that offensive line. Sooner or later, we'll get some gashes, we'll get some quarterback pressures, we'll get some sacks, maybe some turnovers. So keep an eye on all those guys that I named. I think they're all set, where they can be productive. And I think, that Terrence Knighton, sorry, I still go with Pot Roast because of the Bronco fandom, but great sack on Tom Brady, by the way, because I know you're listening too. So yeah, they've got some people, they've got some horses, and I think it's a good thing for Nebraska. And okay, so now we'll go to outside linebacker. We go to the transfer MJ Sherman. I think that MJ is super talented. They say that at Georgia, it wasn't that he wasn't talented enough to be on the field. It was just he was with a bunch of guys, and sometimes it's a numbers thing. Could he have been on the field? I totally think he could have been on the field. So I think that MJ Sherman is set and he's ready, and I think I'm excited to see. And I think though there's going to be some hits out of it. You're going to know MJ Sherman's on the field. I think just the contact that he's going to bring to the defense and the physical nature. So MJ Sherman, outside linebacker. Now we're going to flip over to middle linebacker. We got Luke Reimer, tackling machine, Lincoln East graduate. Just what can you say about him? He is the prototypical Nebraskan that, there were expectations and he's went above and beyond all of those. He's found his footing playing in the Nebraska defense. So I look for Luke Reimer to have a really good year for the Huskers. And it's a matter of just, right now it's like he got comfortable last year. And now he's just going to continue through. So Luke Reimer, go get him. That's what I'm saying. So, all right. So now we're going to move over to the weak side linebacker, and we got Nick Henrich. Nick Henrich came in, one of the top players and top linebacker recruits that Nebraska got in a while. His thing is just health. It's like if Nick Henrich stays healthy, gets his just stays healthy and gets back into the groove of things, I look for Nick Henrich to be one of those guys also that has a big year, because we know he's got the capabilities to be a great player. Now it's just a matter of staying healthy and going through and producing. So keep your eye on the man Nick Henrich there. And then in the linebackers, we got some backup linebackers there. You've got Chief Borders, the all-name team from Florida. He knows SEC football, playing in the Big Ten. He knows what it's all about. Jamari Butler, same way, from Alabama. Thought he was going to transfer, decided to come back. He's going to play. He's going to play huge for Nebraska this year. So Jamari Butler, we got John Bullock at linebacker. John Bullock the same way, physical guy, likes to hit. Garrett Snodgrass, another one of those recruits that came in that was talked a lot about. So you go too deep in the Nebraska linebacking core, if you've got, if Reimer, Henrich, and Sherman, aren't doing what's supposed to be, they've got guys to back up that can come in, give them a rest, or even, come in and play. Will we miss Ernest Hausman? No doubt. Ernest Hausman is a special player. He's finding his groove. But I think that Nebraska's got the people that where they can produce and they can be successful at linebacker. And it'll be fun, what Coach Tony White, the defense coordinator, what kind of how he puts those linebackers in position to blitz, and how he works that. The 3-3-5, I know a lot of Nebraskans are like, oh my gosh, 3-3-5. But the 3-3-5 gives you a lot of options to do a lot of different things. You can drop a guy down. You can play a 4-3. You can blitz. You can pull. There's just so much that you can do with it. So many blitzes, so many different packages. You can confuse a quarterback. It's just the fact that Nebraska does not confuse themselves. That'll be another key. Knowledge of the defense will be huge this first year. But I think that it's one of those things that I think the players are going to like playing in this defense, because it's going to give them opportunities to make a lot of big plays. So keep your eye on those linebackers. All right, now we're going to move to the rover position. Rover, we got Isaac Gifford from Lincoln. Played good last year, really stepped in, was productive. Look for big things out of Isaac Gifford. He's able to stop the run. He's able to cover. So that's always a good thing. And then you got kind of the guy that I've always, been, I think a lot of Nebraskans, you hear the name and you hearken back to yesteryear. It's not a bad thing at all, but you got Javen Wright. You got Toby Wright's son at Rover 2. I think that Javen Wright is going to be that big play guy for Nebraska, not only on defense. I think he's going to be huge on special teams. I could see him getting some more blocks this year on special teams. I think he's another one. Just stay healthy. If he stays healthy, he's an explosive player, young player, able to cover, able to come up, play the run. I've had the opportunity to meet him. I think once, and I was like, ooh, this is a sturdy young man right here. He's put together, and he's got that, from his dad. He's got that gene of, being tough, mobile, just a good player. Just stay healthy, Javen, and we'll see how things progress for you. But I'm excited to watch him play, not only on defense, but also on special teams. And then also at Rover, you got Gage Stanger. Same thing. He's one of those guys that kind of came from nowhere, but he made his move in the spring. He impressed the coaches. I would guess that his knowledge of the defense is huge. Just the way he can get around the field. Just a lot of good things to see out of that Rover position. And once again, that's with the 3-3-5. There's so many different things that you can do. You can do with these guys in the 3-3-5. So it'll be cool to see how it all progresses, for Nebraska when the defense takes the field for that first time in Minnesota. All right, now we will bounce to strong safety. So we got strong safety. We got Omar Brown, transfer Omar Brown, and we got Corey Collier and Phelan Sanford. Sorry about that. I think my handwriting is a little, and Phelan Sanford, he had strong safety. I like our defensive backs. I think they have a chance they're also, have a chance to have big years. Got some young guys on the squad, but we got some guys that are young but play old. So it'll be fun to see, what Omar Brown, Corey Collier, and Sanford bring to the defense. Safety, got to come up and run support once in a while. You got to make your plays. If the quarterback puts one up in the air, if we're bringing a lot of pressure, you got to catch the ball. Do their thing. They should be fine. And now we're going to move to free safety. And free safety, we got Marcus Buford. We got Miles Farmer. Two guys. They've both seen action. I think that Marcus Buford can have a big year. Super, gets around the field, tenacious, likes to hit people. Corey Collier, the same mode. I think they both will play, and I think they'll play a lot. And they have opportunities there, to be very successful. I like where we're sitting with the safeties. They've got some experience, but they're very tenacious back there. So excited to watch the safeties. So all right. So right now, what we'll do is we'll send it to break. We'll come back. We'll finish the defense, and we'll wrap up the wide road to Raff. So this is the wide.
Hey there.
Hi, honey.
Uh-oh.
Remember we told Jamie and Mike about Liberty First Credit Union, how great their checking account and car loans are, the amazing service we get, and how we love being members?
Yeah.
Well, they took our advice. Jamie said how easy it was to move all their accounts and become members. Now they say they're banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union.
Learn more about being a member at libertyfirstcu.com. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Member NCUA.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Problem gambling affects more than the gambler. It affects spouses, children, extended family members, and friends. If you are a loved one who's struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 476-2300.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket every Tuesday night from 8 to 9 p.m. to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Sutter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back. Sure.
Sutter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SutterHeyman.com.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone again, and with me on the line, Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I know how proud you and everyone at the dealership are to earn the prestigious Honda President's Award year after year, 17 times. Tell our listeners what it means to you and your customers.
Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, all of us are extremely proud to have earned this award, and I want all of our customers to know it's not just earned by one person's efforts. It's the entire dealership. Sales, parts, and our amazing service department.
17 times. Wow. How does that compare to other Honda dealers?
This award is only given to the most elite dealerships that demonstrate excellence. We really do strive to go above and beyond for the ultimate customer experience before and after the sale, Charlie.
That's why for 2022, Honda of Lincoln is once again Nebraska's #1 volume Honda dealer. Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Our sales, precision ag, parts, and service teams are ready to serve you this planning season. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com. You know that feeling after a good, hearty meal? The worries of the world just slip away. Time slows down. Nothing but good times and good company. That's what you get with Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Mary Ellen's does food right with a menu that includes smoked wings, pulled pork, brisket, catfish, And don't sleep on their sides. Shrimp and grits, collard greens, baked beans. It's food that makes your heart happy. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul, just east of 27th and Pineland. Let them fix you a plate.
Hey there.
Hi, honey.
Uh-oh.
Remember we told Jamie and Mike about Liberty First Credit Union, how great their checking account and car loans are, the amazing service we get, and how we love being members?
Yeah.
Well, they took our advice. Jamie said how easy it was to move all their accounts and become members. Now they say they're banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union.
Learn more about being a member at libertyfirstcu.com. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Member NCUA.
All right, everybody, we are back. This is the Wide World of Raff on 93.7 The Ticket. It is Wednesday night, and we are doing our pre-fall practice prospectus analysis. That's what I'll call this, the Wide World of Raff pre-practice prospectus analysis. That sounds very official. Call me Dr. Raff of the Wide World of Raff. Okay, maybe not. Self-gloss, never good. Thankfully, AD's not here, so he can't make fun of me or Nick. So we're good to go. Since it's my show, I guess I can call myself the doctor. But all right. So now we'll move on to left cornerback or cornerback. I think the cornerbacks are going to switch around the field. So putting it left and right on them, I don't really says much. But we got Quentin Newsome. Brace yourselves, everybody. I think Quentin Newsome's going to have himself a huge year. He's got the confidence. He's got that swagger that you need in a defensive back. I think that Quentin Newsome is going to be one of those guys from Nebraska that has an opportunity to go to the next level. I think he's a productive defensive back, and I'm excited to see what Quentin does this year, and hopefully when it comes into the year that he's one of those guys that has all Big Ten written next to his name. So Quentin Newsome, just do your thing, lock down, play some defense. And then we'll move over to the other cornerback position, and we got the guy that stepped in at the end of the year last year and played solid football. We got Malcolm Hartzog. He's not the biggest guy, but, man, I'll tell you what, he is a football player, and I'm excited to see, what he does in his second year at Nebraska. He's had a summer to sit back and know that he's, one of the top dogs in that defensive backfield. And I think that Malcolm Hartzog is the same way with Quentin Newsome. I think Nebraska's got two stellar defensive backs, and it's going to be really fun to watch those two, cover this year. I think Coach Tony White is going to put these guys in great situations, and I think we're going to see some interceptions out of both of these guys this year, maybe even a couple taken back for a touchdown. I think I can predict that. I'm throwing it out there right now. We're going to have 2 interceptions returned for touchdown this year out of the defense. So hold me to that, if you remember. And then you've got the backups. You've got Tommy Hill. I spoke about Tommy Hill earlier, special teams wise. Tommy Hill last year kind of got lost. Not lost, but he just lost his way maybe. They had him on offense. He started on defense. But Tommy Hill, the talent is there. Now it's just a matter of him just to realize that, hey, I belong here. And when he belongs and he feels that swagger is going to be back. And I think Tommy Hill has a chance to be an all Big Ten return man. I think he's that good. He is that talented. He was just a couple returns away from breaking a couple last year. And I think that would have made all the difference in the world. But you got Tommy Hill. So keep your eye out for Tommy Hill. Then you got Javier Morton and Deshaun Singleton and Taman Lyman. We've got a lot of youth back there. The leadership provided by Newsome and Hartzog will be huge to get these young guys, ready and out there on the field. Injuries are always part of the equation in football, so you gotta be ready. So I'm hoping they're doing their class work in the football meetings, and they're prepared and they're ready to go, because at any time this year, Nebraska is going to have to probably lean on some of these guys. So that basically concludes the 2023 Nebraska football prospectus analytic part of this show. It's flown by. I cannot believe that I'm already down to my final minute of the show. But I just want to thank everybody for watching and listening tonight. It's so much appreciated. I'm excited for Nebraska football season. I'm not sure what's going to happen. Making predictions would just be crazy. But do I think Nebraska has a talent to be successful? I totally do. I think the coaching staff is going to put this team in situations to win some football games. So I'm as excited as I've been for Nebraska football in a long time. I think Coach Rule and those guys, they've done everything they can to put a successful team on the field. But now it's just a thing where you got to go out on the field and you got to earn it, and it's got to be a football. It's got to be a team ran by the players. I think that if the players take ownership of this team, there's a chance to be very successful. And that's the way I'm going to look at it. So go Big Red. This has been the Wide World of Raff, and I will talk to you next week. Have a great